Welcome everybody to the Bar Talk Podcast. I am, as always, one of your hosts, Jordan Chabot of the Speedwell Tavern. I am joined today again by Mr. Dan Mahoney of BBC.
Hello.
And my secretary, Kyle Heine of the New World Tavern.
Hello, everybody.
And we have the distinct honor and pleasure of being joined today by local legends, Jake Hill.
Hi, everybody, Internet.
Jake Hill's a musician in town and currently works at Malabar Brasserie as a resident baker. And we are also joined by Jimmy Stickney, the co-manager, I guess you would call it, of the tasting room over at Mayflower. He's got his own business cards now, guys.
I do, it's official. But yeah, how's it going tonight, guys? Jimmy from Mayflower Brewing Company.
Jimmy, thanks for being here, guys. Appreciate it.
Pleasure. No pleasure.
So these two are sort of, it's funny, they don't work together, but if you knew them, you'd think they were fucking brothers or mortal enemies or a couple.
You could say that.
All those things. Which way, when we found out we get both of these guys on, actually it was by request of you two, right? Kind of reached out to me.
Yeah.
You wanted to do this.
We've been itching to do this for a while, so it's good to be here.
You're fucking crazy. So we'll focus a little bit more on Jake just to start off because you're super quiet over there, man.
Sorry, man, I'm kind of stoned.
Yeah, no, that's good. A baker should always be a little baked, dude.
Yeah.
So you're the resident baker at Malabar Brasserie, which is the new restaurant owned by the Caseys. We've had Heather Casey on. She was on, actually, I think, for episode 2 with Tatum of Craft Beer Cellar, along with Jim from the Blue Eyed Crab. But they opened up a quality, very high quality French cuisine focused restaurant in downtown Plymouth that actually used to be Nosh Tavern, which you also work at.
Yeah.
So is it what's going on?
It's great. I kind of feel like some sort of like gremlin type character that lives in the basement. Like,
yeah.
You can take the building, but if you do, Jake's gonna make you grand. And like people are like, all right, I don't know, I guess he's okay at it. He's not that bad. He shows up most of the time. He doesn't drink that much, during the day, so that's good.
Word. So you've so basically you went. What were you doing there when you were there at Nosh?
Well, yeah. So Chef Mike Morway has been a friend of mine since my early music days, playing music, and he was doing all the management at T-Bones, and he would book me there with the band for like a couple of years, and we just became friends through that, and then he opened Nosh, and I started going there and started really like experimenting more with food, just like from him, just going there and trusting him and his just style, and it intrigued me a lot. And then I got through just certain circumstances, started cooking a lot, and then just got obsessed, and then I don't know, it's just been a crazy past 5 years, and now I'm the Gremlin resident baker that is improving, I think. I don't know, it's a good thing, because I'm primarily a songwriter. That's how I make most of my money, which is not very much, but it's enough to, eat nice food and smoke really good weed and drink nice beers. And
you say not really much. That sounds like a pretty decent
situation
for a gremlin living in a fucking basement.
I recently bought a car. I didn't have a car for about probably 7 years, and
that's not that bad.
Thanks to my dear girlfriend Allison she works from home and doesn't really need her car very much, and I didn't work for a long time either. I just played music and gigged and toured and had different writing projects, and that just got really old. It's just really hard, and I went pretty hard for a long time, and just by coincidence just started making food, and Mike was like, yo, come hang out at the restaurant. And I had been a cook way earlier in my life when I was in high school.
Whereabouts?
At this place called the Harborview Restaurant, which used to be right across the street from Al's Pizza, which is now a hair salon.
Okay, so Al's Pizza is down the waterfront in Plymouth, Massachusetts.
Right. On
Yeah.
the Rotary.
Old relic. They actually recently just closed.
It was.
Yeah, it was. Thank you.
R.I.P. A lot of people were hurt by that. I wasn't one of those people, but it was also he used to yell at us for people like parking in his lot. So like there was that bad.
Yeah,
like,
you're trying to load up for a fucking gig. And,
Yeah. Oh no, this is when I was cooking.
Oh,
short
really?
order cook breakfast. But I don't know. That's sort of a roundabout way of saying that. Now I'm doing it professionally. Do my own dinners series at Graham Hall's Country Store in the summer, and I've done about over 20 of those.
So I was just gonna ask about that.
Yeah.
So what is Bram Hall's Country Store? First of all,
So
for people that aren't from Plymouth, that
Yeah, it's one of the cool, like, sort of not so hidden gems of Plymouth. It's just it's a salt box style Cape house that's been in operation since like 1887, run by the same family. And it was like one of the first post offices in the United States. It was a leather tannery. It was a shoe making shop. It was
Did they make New Balances?
stables. That was actually one of the first New Balance prototype. Like the gray actually comes from the dirt road around there. They were originally
There
white,
you go.
but then they were, used to be that loose shale, and the guy was kicking around. That's how they got that New Balance color.
There you go, Kyle. If you were wondering where the inspiration came for your sneakers,
Old is new again.
old is new again.
It's beautiful. Everything in 20-year cycles since 1880. That's what they say.
There you go.
Yeah, but now it's a country store that sells lobster rolls and ice cream and amazing tacos now, and it's been crazy to see it evolve. And,
They still got rock candy, Jake, or what?
they had rock candy. They're currently doing an expansion and putting up one of the houses from the plantation in traditional post and beam style, like with old tools and all this crazy shit that's like way over the top, I think, but very cool that they're doing it. And it does build a different kind of structure, It
Right.
builds something a wooden building that stands for over 50 years as opposed to what we do now. That's just a disgrace, but I mean, it's not a disgrace. It's evolution, and we just become more greedy. And people back then, didn't have anything else to do but build their house.
Right.
You didn't have Pornhub. You know what I mean? You didn't even have a soccer.
I was gonna go like being a kid building a fort.
You didn't have a soccer ball. You didn't. Pilgrims. I think Pilgrims just had those like wooden.
How
Those,
old exactly are you?
I'm 48. No, I'm almost 35. I'm 34 years old.
How much time do you spend on Pornhub a day?
I mean,
Is that why you haven't paid your phone bill?
No, it's the thing is, if you're on Wi-Fi, and I live in a place with Wi-Fi, it's just like, it depends. It just depends on like the season, depends on the temperature, it depends on my diet.
Pornhub does?
Yeah, I know. It's all consumable products, and if I'm eating really clean and like a lot of broccoli and like. I have a farm share with Farmer Dave, and like that stuff. You see Farmer Dave, he's jacked up. He's turned 57.
Right.
He probably
He doesn't look 57.
yeah, and he's outwardly like one. He's a great friend of mine. He's just like he has virility about him, and it's an aura, and it comes from like eating a lot of vegetables, so that matters.
Right.
How much sleep I'm getting, how active my brain is. Sometimes it's like dormant. And like I'll like be like sitting on the couch and be like, oh my god, I have
You didn't get one of those times today, huh?
No, not today. I haven't had a thought in 20 minutes, But now it's like sunny out. I'm eating tons of like broccoli and cauliflower and garlic, and I feel good.
Fuck
We
yeah.
had some before we got here, by the way.
Broccoli,
You
cauliflower,
guys can smell this. That's the strongest garlic they make.
garlic.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Farmer Dave's fresh garlic.
Is that why you
Farmer
wore like
Dave's-
the thickest coat so you can sweat it
You
all
got
out?
the garlic sweats.
Dude shows up with a leather coat and 95-degree
Yeah.
weather.
I am wearing a leather jacket. This is a podcast. It has a very rare.
It's actually a windbreaker, but
Yeah,
it
no.
looks like leather.
It has a It's shiny. It looks. I don't know. But anyways, that was you said we were free to get off topic when I.
No, absolutely. Please
Oh, yeah,
do.
you went. I'll tell you right now. You really did.
I went so far that it came all the way back, Carl.
No, it was fucking full
It
circle.
was funny because one of the biggest things you said at the
didn't come
beginning
all
was
the
you were a little baked, and I was thinking, what does that mean? A little baked? I'm guessing there's no difference.
Not anymore, Carl. Not anymore.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
I'm
but
sure
no.
the fucking
Honestly,
never
dude. Honestly, sorry,
No,
I can be okay with being like saying like I'm totally baked. And one of the coolest things ever happened to me on July 4th, which is also the birth of my mother. So it was her birthday, her 68th birthday.
It's awesome.
Me and her smoked weed together.
First time?
First time, because like she got her medical card because she's
It's not the first time she smoked weed.
No, but like she never was about it.
Right.
She would give me shit about it, but not that much shit. Only my
Right.
dad, because he's like a kind of like a
Feeling like she has to be a mom. And
yeah,
say
she
something.
didn't really she didn't give shit. But we smoked
No,
weed together out of her little vape pen because she has it for arthritis now. Like all medically, I'm like, man, this is kind of a beautiful little moment. And
It's
then
fucking sweet.
it was dope.
How did it go?
It was great. She coughed her ass off and she smokes.
You didn't talk about Pornhub with her, did you?
No, I mean,
All
it's
right.
not necessary. We don't need to talk about that stuff.
So what do you
Oh, you brought it up earlier. I don't know what you do with
Just got a cell phone like the other year. She didn't have a
First
cell phone
time?
forever. She doesn't have an email address. Any email she does has to go through my dad. And he's like, you gotta be shitting me. This is 2018. She's like, nah, just put it off. She's like, nah, I'm not doing that. I was a housewife for too many years with your 4 shit kids. I mean, I just feel like all parents think of their kids as shit at some point.
No, I mean,
I was saying it from that
sucking the life
standpoint.
out of them their entire.
Absolutely.
It's all good stuff. You brought up a lot of good things. I mean, going back to Farmer Dave, right?
Yeah.
So you're heavily involved. For those of you listening that aren't from Plymouth, there is Plymouth Plantation, which is like the recreation of what life was like shortly after the Pilgrims landed in Plymouth. It's like a tourist attraction. It's great. They do a farmer's market every Thursday from 2:30 to 6:30.
Yes, sir.
So Jake is heavily involved in that. I mean, not as heavily involved as Dave, but you have become sort of like the mascot. No offense.
Yeah.
Well, the mascot, dude. I go there, I expect to see you.
Yeah. Well, I also go right at 2:30 because some of the farms have specialty produce that's like a little bit ahead of time, and if you don't get there right there, it just sells out in 5 minutes.
So that's the thing I'm talking about.
Yeah.
How does a guy
Oh man,
as baked as you,
Yeah.
fucking a musician who just bought his
Yeah.
first car in 7 years,
Yeah.
know when the fresh produce is at the
It
fucking
was-
farmer's market?
it
How
was-
does that happen?
It was a revelation, like through like cooking with Mike and like Mike, because I grew up in a very traditional, Northeast household. Like we had like taco
Steak and
night.
bagels?
Yeah, taco night was all El Paso taco box thing, and hamburgers and some boiled vegetables and stuff like And Mom, she fed us great, and everybody grew up healthy, and it's like. Can't blame them for it. Is that the food culture was much different because that's what they were marketed to, and it made sense. And supermarkets are way easier than growing all your own food and trying to barter with your friends. It makes a lot of sense. It's part of evolution. But like then I started eating like a really fresh carrot. I'm like, oh wait, this is way different. Like I most likely wouldn't have hated this when I was a kid if it tasted like this. We just like kind of took food too far. And
Right.
And it was just like I started reading about, and then I just get obsessed with things. That's just the way my brain works. And
Which works perfect as a baker. I
Yeah.
mean, because baking is such a meticulous
yeah,
form of a culinary
Yeah.
art. And I didn't fail baking, but when my short stint in culinary school, it was the class I got the worst grade on because
Yeah.
I wanted to do a sprinkle of this and a touch of that. I didn't want to fucking read a recipe.
yeah.
Check the humidity, check
Yeah.
this, check that, proof this, proof that.
Yeah,
How do you go from getting into the food industry as like maybe 5 years ago, like really getting your interest sparked,
Yeah, yeah.
to becoming like a baker?
I don't know, man. It's also, I mean, I owe a lot of it to YouTube. You know what I mean? We have this incredible access to information that 20 years ago, if I had that same spark of interest through some sort of situation that I had, like I'd be like, oh, it'll just fade away. It's like, oh, Mom, do you know how to do this? Or, brother, and like he'd just like punch you in the face. He'd be like, no, I don't know how to do that. You're a fucking bitch. For want to know how to make a cake, you know what I mean? So like now kids can just like it's supposed to be like, I already know I'm a fucking bitch. I want to make this cake. It's so sick. It really it sparked something inside of me. They can go on YouTube and learn from a real professional for free, and like that's making this world incredibly better.
It's the information age, right?
Yeah, it's just
Well, now that we're talking about baking, for our 13 listeners, you tell us, what are you baking? Are you baking birthday cakes? Are you baking bread? Are you?
I'm baking
what
bread.
What is it that you're doing?
I'm daily bread at Malabar Brasserie. I was making bread at Nosh before that, and then it closed. And then for a year, I didn't do anything. That was like the worst winter of my life. I just like looked out the window and like, why the fuck am I not in Mexico? Like, I had that thought a lot, you know. And it wasn't like an escapism thing. I mean, of course it was, but it wasn't like harmful. It was just like I have a credit card and a passport. I should be in Mexico right now, you know.
Right.
But it was just because I wasn't busy.
Is that why we became friends? Because all of a sudden, all of a sudden, I was talking to Jake like every day.
Right.
Now it makes sense.
Yeah, I just like again.
You were fucking really depressed, and you had nothing else better to do.
Exactly.
All right.
So the reason I talked to you.
Touche. I don't blame you.
We're all glad you're here, Jordan. We're all
So now I make the bread. I didn't have a job for a year, and my music was going pretty good. I have some licensing and publishing things that keep the green in the pipe, I guess. That keep my head above
green
water. So I
metaphor.
don't So I didn't want to just take some job and then Jim Casey, actually Jim and Heather came over one afternoon. And we smoked a joint, and they asked me if I wanted to bake bread at the restaurant. I was like, "Fuck yeah, dude!
Awesome.
That's so cool."
So you started with what, English muffins? I think it was.
Yeah, it was. It was kind of like it was just kind of basic doughs, and then I had this idea when I started first doing things with Ben at Bram Halls that I was like, "All right, well, I want to do like an event." I was just totally out of my league, but I was like, "What can you do really well?" I also learned like the power of a really farm fresh egg too. I was like, if we do like an English muffin or we do a breakfast sandwich type thing really well with really nice, whatever. I was like, what would be the real kicker? I was like, oh, you gotta make like the English muffin. And I was like, I had no idea how to do it, and I just practiced, and I really only figured it out this year. I was kind of faking it for a long time.
That's what
Even though I did it at Nosh for like 9 months, and I was like making all these discoveries, but I finally realized the like hydration levels and like the percentages that are very real that I thought were just kind of arrogant, kind of industry speak, and I was like, I don't need that shit, you know what I mean? Like, I don't go to school, I don't care. I'm just trying to like keep myself busy, and it's just but it's very important. It's an exact science.
That's what blows my mind a little bit about the whole evolution of you getting into baking. And the people listening maybe don't know Jake, but my impression coming in to Plymouth, and I've known you a little bit from back in the day, playing in New Bedford.
Exactly.
I ran a bar in New Bedford for a little while. Is you were
young
this
pups.
fly off the cuff musician,
Weirdo, right?
Well, you are a fucking weirdo. Let's be honest.
But I'm kind of like, especially back then, I was like kind of like tall and decent looking, like not like I didn't.
You had like a
weird
pompadour haircut. There wasn't much else different.
Right. I had nice.
It wasn't as nice as Jimmy's hair, but
You kind of went in the direction that nobody else has went. You were in the entertainment industry in the bar
Yeah.
to a baker in a restaurant.
Yeah.
So what's the difference between the two?
One is very private, and that's baking. And especially now that we're not open for lunch, I can go in there at 5 o'clock in the morning and be done by 8:30 in the morning.
right.
And that's cool. And then music is very private, but it becomes very public, and then it becomes commoditized, and that sucks. Well, it sucked for me emotionally because it was also like at a time of day when I wasn't my best. But it's like I did so much growing in that. And I've become a way better songwriter and a singer because of like playing in that atmosphere, and it's just. I'm grateful for everything.
But do you see when you bake, people appreciate what you do?
Yeah.
But when you sing, you see that people appreciate what you do because they're in there clapping, they're yelling your name, they're throwing underwear on the stage, the whole nine yards.
Sometimes.
I mean, I've seen Jake in the kitchen. People still throw underwear.
Jimmy, you gotta stop doing that, dude.
My bad.
So it's just I don't know, and it's something that I just let happen organically, and it was just like, and it's also work too. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I realized I spent so many years sitting at my desk trying to write the best song I ever could, and I wrote, I don't know this sounds arrogant, but it's like I'm just that much of a fucking brain dead idiot that I don't know how many records I put out in the last 10 years. But it's like,
I don't know how many chicken tenders I've cooked in the last 10 years, so it's the same, we're speaking the same fucking language.
I don't know how many beers I drank in the last
we all have the
Get
exact
the
same
t-shirts
thing.
you know what I mean?
No, it's just like, so it was like so much of the time I was like, man, I should have been doing something else. Because when I started cooking like really passionately and using a lot of my creative energy and actual energy too, I would be less psychotic to like sit down and write a song.
Right.
And just be like, okay, this is all right. You don't have to worry about every little thing. You don't have to like everybody thinking they could pick this a part of a song, that's what you eventually do that as a songwriter. But then you eventually learn to let go of that, and then you start writing good songs.
Right.
Is
Coin flip here, right? So you are a musician for a long time, and then you go into Nosh, and then you go into Malabar, but you've also released a lot of new music.
Yeah.
Do you find maybe your approach to baking that exact science has affected the way you've written music? Is it flipping the other way now?
And that's very interesting because the music that is technically successful for me monetarily is a music that is much more calculated in the music I do with the Hustle Standard, which is at least it starts from like 100% electronic basis.
So you're in a few projects.
Yeah.
So you say the Hustle Standard, and people listening maybe don't understand. So you're Jake Hill. So
Yeah.
it's Jake Hill, but he's also Jake Hill,
Right.
and the Hustle Standard,
Right.
Which, from what I understand, had a song purchased by like NASCAR to open up.
Yeah. We've had very good licensing and publishing. We have the guys in the industry that are working for us now. And I get a check in the mailbox every month, and it's crazy.
So music genre-wise, what would you consider Jake Hill and the Hustle Standard?
I don't know. It's sort of pop urban type music. It's really licensed a lot for exercise stuff.
Right.
And we know our audience, and a lot of it is fitness based, and it's just high energy, optimistic or enthusiastic music with a positive image, and that's what we've done sort of from the beginning in different ways, shapes, or forms. But we have like 3 EPs that we have recorded that are already done, that aren't out yet. And because he was doing things with other artists, and I got to co-write some songs with them. So that's the side of me, like, I'm still fully in music, and I still like, that's still the leader in the race for me, but it's just like performance for me is taking a way back seat just because it makes me really anxious, and it's kind of hard, and it's just not, it doesn't kind of even out. You got to be fully invested in that lifestyle.
So would you rather be known for a great piece of bread or a great song?
Both. I'm gonna be. No, it's just, bread is like, but the thing is, bread and songs, and I think about this all the time, and as Jim Casey has told me like a million times, and nobody else has ever had the balls to say it to me before in my life, which is one of the reasons why I respect him to no end. He's like, man, you overthink everything. And I'm like, fuck. Like, I was overthinking the fact that I was overthinking things to the point where I convinced myself that I wasn't.
Right.
That it's normal. And like that's why like I didn't like work for a lot of years. And I'm like, I can't be like subjugating myself to that. Like I'm an artist. I'm not a part of this. And it's like, no, you need to work to take your friggin' crazy mind off this shit, and it makes you feel better, and it makes you money, and you're not
It
poor.
allows you to not only contribute to society, whether you believe in everything or not, but put yourself in a position to do more things you enjoy and love, and take care of the people around you that you enjoy and love.
And live like a decent American, and because it is like a wonderful life that we have, regardless of what you think about really anything. We're here having beautiful beers in a room with modern technology.
As baked as the bread is.
Baked as the morning bread.
I'm gonna take a fucking quick left turn.
Yeah.
How did this shit happen between you and Jimmy? Because I know you're a farm to table guy now, and I know Farmer Dave pops up of Mayflower all the time. So I think Dave was the matchmaker here. Dave Paperta.
I don't know.
It's
I
Mayflower.
don't know if Dave had much to do with it. I think
No.
it was kind of just exactly like what we're here talking about, bar talk. Like Jay came in.
Yeah.
I think it helped a bit. Allison started working with us over at Mayflower,
Right.
and I started spending a lot of time with her, and then
And
Jay
I
started coming in a bit
time
more.
there.
But also Farmer Dave does a Friday night farm share CSA pickup out of Mayflower, and Jake's
Yeah.
contributing.
So I have to go
member
every
of that.
Friday because
He
that's
has to go every Friday.
It's not the It's not.
I'll
the
tell you what,
season.
it's
Oh, but it's become
a
both.
little of both. It's a little of both.
But then, like, also you
Not
can
50-50.
you can go on Wednesday, and Jimmy's like he's just there listening
So-
to punk rock. I'm
no,
sorry, yo,
don't tell anyone
No,
that.
I'm just
for
kidding.
the record.
it's not inappropriate. It's if he's all alone.
I definitely
You can
don't
go
play
in
my
there.
obnoxious music when nobody's
It's like
there.
Jimmy, like Beatles back there, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
scene chicks.
You'll catch me sometimes, and then I have to do that awkward like change when people that walk in that I realize like hate that music.
Yeah.
You're talking about the farm share. Farm
The
share.
farm share, yes.
Well,
Yeah.
Explain to everybody what that exactly
All
means.
right,
What is a
so
farm share?
Farmer Dave works or does
Here in Plymouth.
Middleborough actually. Plato's Harvest is his farm, and he does the farmers market. So you can go there every Thursday and buy what you'd like, or you can sign up for. I think it's. Do you know how many weeks it is?
It's from about June till
It's
through the holidays.
he does through the fall. Like he does
Yeah.
pumpkins and stuff
Well,
towards the end of the
holidays,
season.
something.
So-
Right, yeah, no, but through after
No, he does.
Thanksgiving.
He does through Thanksgiving for vegetables. So you can sign up for a fixed rate at the beginning of the year. You can do just vegetables, or you can do vegetables and eggs, I believe, as well.
Yeah.
So and he actually does a few different locations. I know ours is Fridays, and then he does a Tuesday if you'd like to somewhere else in Plymouth. I'm not 100% on that, but every Friday, you'll come. All your vegetables will be there waiting for you. He does a whole bag of basically the whole share, your eggs if you'd like them, and you can basically arrange with him. He'll sign you up for his list, and you stop at Mayflower and have a beer and pick up some beer for the weekend if you'd like, all at the same time.
So I'm a grocery store shopper, and I
Yeah.
get eggs at the grocery store.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
What
sorry.
makes your eggs better than mine?
I was gonna ask.
So I'm actually I'm new to this whole thing. Dave's a big help to that for sure because he comes in and he's like, try this and try these eggs, and I'm telling you, I think the best thing if you try those eggs compared to your
Cook them in a
store-bought,
pan side by side. and
it's
you'll love
even
it.
just you can look at the color of
Yeah.
them and just be like, those look so much more appetizing. And
Yeah.
they're delicious, and I really don't eat anything else besides that.
So
I'll
I
just
gotta
store my
I can
veggies
do it
in
myself.
there.
You can't tell me the difference between their eggs.
I could tell you.
Well,
I
it's
mean,
in their
just
diet.
flavor wise in
Flavor.
general is 100 times better
It's
than
the whole way the
anything you
protein
get at a
cooks. The
store.
protein is much more alive, and also the yolk is much darker.
Chemist, dude. He's like
No, but it's-
Walter White.
Now, listen, I'm going to be honest with you.
you.
This is a radio show, so
No.
they can't see the hand signals that you
Right. So, no, so think of, it's very simple. Like a lot of commercial food eats mainly corn, and a lot of the corn is grown like in the worst possible way ever. Well, I mean, no, it's the most evolved way ever. It's it's where we're at.
GMO.
Yeah, it's GMO, and it looks very pale white, and they eat that's a majority of their diet. Really, depending on the pasture that the chicken is in, if the grass is rich in nutrients, it will produce very dark green grass. So then when you cross that color, as opposed to eating pale yellow and a dark green, the yolk will be much more orange, like because of those two colors mixing almost like. I think of it, it's not exactly how it works, but that's how I think it works, and that's the way it tastes in my mind. And if you think in colors, some people say you're insane, but then, fuck those people.
I'm much more of just like a raw flavor guy, and
Right.
I'll tell you what, the just overall just flavor and freshness of those eggs and his veggies as well. There's
Also,
almost no comparison.
A huge
It's
part of his
crazy.
farming practice, too, is totally... It's not revolutionary because people have been brewing beer forever, and people have been farming forever, but Dave takes all the spent grain from Mayflower, which is over like 1 million...
It's a lot of pounds.
Now, when you say Mayflower, it's
Mayflower
Mayflower
Brewing
Brewing.
Company,
Company,
yeah,
yes.
all of their
Yeah.
spent grain, and they do
A lot.
they do a lot of
A lot.
brewing. They have been a very successful
So a
brewer.
lot of drunk chickens.
No,
No, so the spent grain
spent
is just
grain,
like
no
it's the
booze,
rye
sorghum.
that still has a ton of protein and a lot of different
Yeah.
good things that are good for the soil that he takes over to the farm and he lets them ferment, just basically rot out in the open. And when it's high season and they have a lot of, I've been out to the farm many times and seen just amazing things. But like you walk by this pile of spent grain and it's way worse than cow shit.
Yeah,
It's
it
like been
stinks.
steaming
It
in the
stinks
sun.
bad.
It's just breaking down. But then he tills that all into his soil, and his soil is a different color and it's a different health. And that it's basically farming is only it's about the soil. And like having a garden at home too has taught me amazing things. But seeing his earth, you connect on a level like you just automatically feel like, oh my god, this is better. And then just like you see the egg yolk, you're like, oh yeah, that's much more healthy.
Right.
But I don't know.
Instead of seeing like dry up desert, or you don't even see the earth, right? Like you don't see the farm that the shit you buy.
Right.
And don't get me wrong, man. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I know any different.
Yeah.
But because I'm getting by just fine.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's not the wrong way. It's just evolution.
Yeah.
But I'd been sitting there on a Friday and turned around and saw Farmer Dave drop off like 30 goddamn bags across the window in front of me. I'm like,
so
Yeah.
that's the
and then you ran over.
Yeah.
We were mid-conversation. Like,
Yeah.
I'll be right back. And you ran over and grabbed your bag and came
Yeah.
back. I'm like, what's in there?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, carrots, eggs,
Yeah.
this. I'm like, how do I do that? And you're like, yeah, it's a subscription. And like,
All right, so let's stop it about
Yeah.
Jake's eggs. I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
So, a musician and a baker.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've been through many ups and downs.
Yes.
What is the worst thing that they could say as a baker? Would it hurt you more than the worst thing that you could say as a musician?
Far.
Because you know those people are out there.
What a
Oh, they are. They're out there.
question.
Oh yeah, no, they have, and they're opinionated, and they think that like some point in your career.
Well, they know
is better
everything.
than
You
others.
just ask them.
Yeah, no, that's why I really hate going out. You know what I mean? And I understand like artists that just stay in. You know, they're just like
Prince.
shut-ins. Yeah, but yeah, exactly. You know what? I don't know. The thing is, it hurts so bad either way. Because I mean, I had a couple instances when the restaurant first opened that we were trying to figure out exactly how to serve the bread and like how long it would hold up, and you know, if we didn't have to do it every day, we wouldn't have to. But it's like, no, fresh bread is fresh bread. You can't fuck with it. You can't fuck around. Like, if you're gonna say you're gonna do it, you're gonna do it. And I've now successfully taught Tyler how to make the bread, which is a big thing because like I was not sit. It takes me like 3 or 4 hours a day to do my job. It's not. But,
tough life, man.
yeah, I couldn't like go away for the weekend or whatever. But I do that less and less too because I've alienated more and more people in my life.
Not us, though.
No, exactly.
Whether you wanted to or not. Yeah.
Yeah.
The end of the day, though, what would be the worst? What would be the worst? Someone criticizing your bread, someone criticizing your music.
I think of it very plainly, I guess, at the end of the day, that food you need to eat or else you'll die. Music you don't have to have, you'll be just fine.
Yeah, but it's your music or your
It
bread.
is. Yeah.
You're also the Pickett's favorite kid right now.
I am.
It is.
I sure am.
It's just like that, but like honestly, sometimes we'll like get drunk at the house and Allison will put on like old songs of mine, like from like 2010, you know,
Back when
8
those
years
out.
ago, and I was a different person then. I didn't know. I was just flailing around, young songwriter, thinking that I don't know what I was thinking. But then I haven't listened to it in a very long time. Like, oh, these are good.
There's some jams back
This is
there.
cool. But it's also like this isn't me. But then that's just like if the more you think about that, it's like that you can just go down a huge wormhole there too. So like, yeah, you know what? Let's just have a little go outside, maybe have a smoke, you know, and come back in.
So we're not going to get
Have
an
another
answer to
smoke.
that question.
No, I know. The thing is, so to have your food insulted, I guess, is worse because food you need to live, and you don't need music to live. But
Good
it does. It enhances life. So if you don't have it, you don't have enhancements. So you just like I don't know, all those people like riding around in a scooter in Walmart, but you don't have to.
Right.
Just kind of like convince yourself that you have to.
And
And I have a younger brother that is wheelchair bound, and so I can make fun of people that don't have disabilities, and they,
Use them.
it's just like
We
having,
can make fun of whoever the fuck.
it's like.
Well, how come he can make fun of him?
Yeah, I've been taking care of, it's like, I understand that, like, well, I don't, thank Christ I'm able-bodied, but I've had that perspective my whole life too, man, and I feel like
So hey guys, sorry about this. The podcast cut out real quick. We're gonna start off fresh. We were just talking a lot about.
Yo, you think that might have been the FCC shutting us down because we were speaking the truth?
There was a lot of fucking truth, and
Sometimes
I'm not gonna
when
say it
Jordan
was.
talks too much, they cut him right off. Don't worry about it. It happens
I'm not gonna say it
almost every
wasn't.
episode.
It's just so much goddamn truth, Carl. So much goddamn truth.
Kyle dropping truth
Just fucking
bombs.
staring at Carl across the brain. So we heard about where you've been. We heard about what's going on now. What's next for Jake Hill?
I'm gonna move to Mexico. Nah, I'm just kidding.
Credit card in the car, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Take off on her. She ain't gonna know you got her card.
He's on the road. No, he's got his own car. He's on the road these
I
days.
think
I'm
Allison
having
would
a lot of
appreciate
fun with
that.
the dinners. They also stress me out so bad.
We were supposed to do it, and I kind of
I was in Mexico though.
fucking.
There was not good planning on this. George, we almost do it. We'll do one.
We'll do one. Well, the thing is, me and Jake had a supper insane planned,
Yeah.
and we didn't realize we picked the same day as the Mayweather Pacquiao fight.
Yeah.
Nor did we there were both a couple fucking space shots. Nor did we ever meet up.
Yeah.
No, you guys had a team meeting at Mayflower, didn't you?
Yeah, we didn't
Was
talk
that
about
something else?
shit.
We take a lot of meetings at It's all about
So you guys
future
just wanted
stuff,
the
too.
day off and have a couple beers and
We
write
don't
some
talk
stuff
about
on
anything,
Notepad.
but we have meetings.
And then we met at his place. I went to the farmer's market for the first time. We met at him and Allison's place, and
It's actually
we just-
Joey and Allison's place.
Joey and Allison's
but,
place. Thank
yeah.
you. I was gonna say that, but I wasn't sure.
Well,
It's all
I think the question is, where's Jake Hill in 10 years? What are you doing?
Oh man.
How about 10 minutes?
I hope to be further along in my songwriting career so far that I have completely shunned it from my life.
So you want to be so good at something you don't want to do it again?
Yeah,
Like bartending. I fucking bought a restaurant, so I didn't have to bartend ever.
yeah. It's just like,
understand.
and it's not. I
Less
love
sex.
it. It becomes you become obsessed with something, and then you kind of figure out what makes it tick, and then you're like, oh man, the parts that make it tick, that make a lot of money, are parts that don't make me happy. So
When it becomes a chore.
yeah, and you're like,
I know
oh.
exactly what you mean.
And then and people judge everything. It's so much like the restaurant business because it's like, all right, you figured out something that works, that makes people happy, and it makes so many people happy, and then a couple of people are like, this is fucked up, just because they need attention in some weird way in their life, and it's just like, and that just
Like a bad review.
yeah, just.
Do you get bad music reviews?
Oh, I mean, yeah, on YouTube, with the Hustle Standard stuff, we have quite a lot of traction on YouTube that I actually make money on, which is amazing.
It's awesome.
And so, in a lot of the fans are from, Eastern European countries, and they're very basic English.
Right.
And they're also big.
You fucking asshole.
Oh yeah, they're like, no.
Jake fucking stupid.
Yeah, bring back Rob Bailey. You stink.
What is that? Who's Rob Bailey?
Oh, Rob Bailey's the reason that me and Charlie have had, he's Charlie's best friend from high school who started a very successful clothing company.
Who's Charlie?
Charlie Hustle from the Hustle Stand.
Thank you. Just for the listeners.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
For Jimmy.
I don't think about anybody else than anybody in this room.
Thanks, dude. Other than everybody in this room. Oh, right.
But so
in 10 years you're in Mexico.
yeah, I'm in Mexico.
Baking bread or singing songs?
I also want to. I really want. Actually, in 10 years, I am in Mexico for real. I'll bring my lovely family with me. I don't.
Family.
Can I visit?
Yes, you can all. Everybody can visit. you know, like what family, like I have a wonderful life, I have a wonderful partner in Allison, like, and people always, we've been together for like 9 years, and people are like, are you gonna get married? I'm like, I'm a poor person. Poor people shouldn't get married, I don't think. Unless you need to, or you can benefit. We're like both artists and we're both self-supportive, and it's like, why get married? It's like, I already have like 15 friends that are divorced.
Yeah.
Like, it was like, why aren't you married? I'm divorced already. I'm like,
Do you have any names? Maybe some numbers?
What does marriage have to do with fucking money, though, dude?
Yeah, and it's, but
Oh, I'm gonna get you in trouble.
No, I
Sorry.
love it. I just got into a weird tangent, like, because like it serves a great place in society, and it's an amazing bond of commitment that like I already have. And
Right.
if we need to do it, we need to do it. I don't give a shit.
So 10 years from now, you're down in Mexico
10
with
years in
Allison.
Mexico, I'm learning true traditional Mexican cooking because that's the most exciting for me. And I also want to record music with Mexican musicians because I feel like they have the best spirit.
Jay Kill and the Mariachi Standard.
Exactly. I fucking love I went to college in Arizona in Tucson,
Jake
which is
Pillow.
That works.
Cobo, Colina,
Alright.
Jacob Hill in Spanish. But
There you go. He was ready. He did his homework.
no, but like it's also something. It's like a sort of fantasy that I've had like ever since I left Arizona from college, because like the music had a huge impact on me. When I was 20 years old in college, like I didn't play any music. I played in like a punk band in high school.
Really?
Like yeah, that's when I learned how to play guitar when I was 20.
So this isn't something you've done your whole fucking life. This is post college, like.
saxophone and then bass and then guitar.
Yeah, but you weren't like that was like dead set what you were gonna do for life.
No.
Forget about what he was gonna do. So you're singing with the mariachi then 10 years from
Yeah.
now on a beach.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, I just wanted to record with them.
Place called Coconut
I
Cows,
think
maybe?
that's where that's where fusion of music happens, but that's also where invention of music happens. I feel
Right.
like when people have the same spirit, and like when I'm in a really good mood, and it's like I get a lot of vitamin D, I feel so much like Mexican people that I met in Mexico. Like we went there every weekend, all these crazy town parties. You know what I mean? Like the whole town. The
It's
women
like
would
they're
bring-
all on vitamin D.
and it was a whole week. You know what I mean? And
Milk, dude.
And
It's what's
I
for
don't
dinner.
know. It's
That's
like
what-
I felt that, and I feel whenever I get like my most excited, like these guys. It was a 7-day like party in this mountain town in the middle of nowhere in Mexico, and it's like the most beautiful celebration of life I've ever been around.
So you want to basically open up shop there in 10 years, selling.
I want to learn
Tortillas?
I want to come back. I want to come back to Plymouth.
Taught me how to make tortillas.
Yeah,
You
Now
did.
I've learned how to mill them and like do it from
Stupak.
scratch. Yeah, yeah,
So open up a taco stand down there.
yeah,
Start a fucking J Kill and the Mariachi Standard.
yeah.
10 years from now, maybe a family. You said
The thing
family.
is, all those things are definitely
Mexican
family.
Pornhub.
I think that exists.
I think they have that.
I think that might have been where it originated.
Yeah.
Category.
Yeah.
Ah, Chihuahua.
So I think it's in the top like 10% of categories searched. Depending, I don't know. I can't believe you got me to say all that shit, but yeah, that's what I think about.
We actually did it because that was part of the 10 minutes we lost.
Actually,
Man.
nobody's ever talked for like 35 minutes but you, but that's alright.
Yeah. Well, no, dude, this is going to be why Bar Talk Live is going to be a good thing if we ever do it, because the 10 minutes we lost was what he just referenced with the porn up and stuff. Just throwing that out there. Let's see if it hits and let it stick to the
We're
wall.
talking about a song placement I haven't been paid for yet. Yeah, I should sue their ass, but like, no.
Well, you can sue whatever you want. You can see their ass, you can see their tits, you can see
their
that.
money.
Someone
So
knows the people too.
We'll just get you a Pornhub t-shirt, smooth it over.
right.
Jack Black owns Pornhub,
Free
right?
membership.
I saw that in that movie. Jack Black is the guy that owns Pornhub?
Jack Black owns Pornhub.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, get freaking way.
Yeah, no, there's that movie with the tape and the fucking you go in the building and never mind.
You tell us about
I can
Yeah.
just see Carl across the table.
No,
right
that's-
now. Like I'm gonna go home and look up this Pornhub thing they're talking about.
Yeah.
He's
That-
like,
why do you think
he's
Jack
like,
won't
he's
buy
like,
a new
I'm
phone?
gonna go home.
he's like, it's just
We're
like,
not gonna see talk for like 2 months.
That's why Carl's scrambling to every bar this week asking for one of the old iPhone chargers.
go home.
Kid, I can't play my iPad. Yeah, sure, that's what you're fucking asking for.
78 Will Smith.
Yeah, You've been watching that Hustle Standard clip for the last fucking week, haven't you?
He'll find Hustle Standard.
Oh, that red onesie, dude.
Really, one of my favorite parts of that surfacing that it was on a Pornhub clip was like a couple of people said, "Yo, I bang to that shit on the regular, like on Instagram." And I was like, "Nice!" Dude, like,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You know, we have a lot of people that bang to the Bar Talk podcast, too.
So these people watch Pornhub and say, "Listen, I just want to let you know that I really liked your song."
No, he said,
Good advertisement, Carl.
He's
It's good
a
advertisement.
friend. He's a friend, acquaintance that's become a friend. He's like, "Yo, I know I don't really know you that well, but I just saw this," and he sent me the link on Facebook, and I was like, "Fuck yeah!"
But there
Wish
was
I
also
could show
the,
my mom this.
Is there a better
I
compliment?
smoke weed with it.
All right, wait. Here's the. So I asked you the question earlier. Would you rather? Oh, actually, Carl asked it. I'll give Carl credit. Would you rather have a negative review on bread or a negative review on music? Would anyone ever bang to your bacon?
Oh.
Negative review on.
I don't know.
Pornhub.
So the thing is, people are sort of orgasmic on a level about food.
Right.
There are
People
some
get riled
things,
up over a
and
good
when
meal.
food is like so sweet, like honestly, I think to some people, bread is such like it's a hard wired DNA thing that like it's a trigger. You know what I mean? And like if it's at a certain temperature with somebody of a certain like temperament of brain, they could like have maybe.
Wait, if you had an orgasm while eating bread, bro?
No, but
sounds like it.
but some,
Sounds like it.
I've seen enough people's reactions in the
I had
kitchen
one where I
where
had a
like,
hot dog roll once.
Was it a baguette?
no, it's just no,
And
it's
where did you put it?
It's just like sometimes people just go, oh, and that's the reaction.
Yeah.
So like, how much different is oh than oh?
Right.
Depending on
Right. It's how Olive Garden have stayed in business this long.
how much different is that shit? And that can depending on your diet or the amount of vitamin D, that can be louder or softer.
Dude, cheesy bread, let me tell you.
Right.
Fuck yeah.
Right.
Orphan's Farm Fresh.
Yeah. Dude, right.
Right,
You're talking
right.
about- right.
Crack a fucking farm fresh egg on some cheesy bread, forget about it.
Forget
If
about
that
it.
yolk is orange,
And if you can make
close
that
the doors, dude.
at the right hydration
Put the shades
levels,
down.
Call him a rooster.
You know? Good. All right, we better end of our 15
Music.
We gotta be getting close.
Oh man, nice mental clock. In his last call, I'd like to thank Jake Hill, who really enlightened us with all things baked today. Jimmy Stickney of Mayflower Brewing, Dan Mahoney of BBC, and of course Carl of New World Tavern. This is the portion of the show where everybody gets to kick in their 2 cents. They don't necessarily have to talk about anything we talked about on the show today. This is their time to get on their soapbox and talk about anything they like. Because I think Jake's pretty much done that this entire fucking show. And he did a really good job, actually. He did. And I am going to shift the rotation. I'm going to kick it out over to Dan Mahoney. It is last call for you, bruh.
I mean, I don't even know how I can follow up anything with anything. So, well, thank you for listening. Thank you to Pigs for hosting us. And thanks for Jimmy's magical beard across the room for me.
Jimmy does have a pretty magical beard. Let's go clockwise. We'll kick it over to Jake Hill.
Thank you, Bar Talk, for having me and Jimmy. Jimmy picked me up so I could get as high as I wanted to before I came here.
It's true.
And maybe I got too high. Because right now, we've been here for over an hour, and now I feel pretty much okay. Like I'm not gonna have like some weird fall over heart attack thing. But like, thank you guys for letting me ramble. I feel like that's therapeutic for people with my condition, which is total bullshit syndrome. And, I love you guys, and I wish you all success and happiness, and I hope to have 1 more million beers with you before we have 1 more million more.
Respect. That was so cheesy.
It was perfect. It's perfect.
Kick it over to Jimmy Stickney.
T-shirts,
Yes! Jimmy Stickney from Mayflower Brewing. It is your turn.
We didn't really touch on it too much, but Jake's a great guy, you know, local guy, Plymouth guy.
Terrible babysitter.
No, he could probably take some pretty good care of your kids.
I just wanted to break it up. It got a little too
I have a
sweet.
20-year-old nephew. He's 20. He's an artist extraordinaire. 20. He used to sleep in my room. My sister was 16 when she
Exactly what I mean, yeah.
So,
you know,
I retract my last.
Jake's got a blind dog at home most of the time, and he takes great care of him. So, and
the wall,
you know, I was telling Allison today, you know, like you guys need some kids and stuff and all that. And
it's probably why.
You know, yeah, he's a great guy. And he plays some good shows. Plays some good shows over at Mayflower. You should definitely check one out at some point. Good shows. I mean, he played. I don't know when was the last time you played the Spire, but it's been. You do. I've seen you over at the Spire and stuff. And it was it was Saturday, Jordan. We're losing some days. But yeah, no, seriously. If you're from Plymouth and you listen to this podcast, it's probably because you know some of us and catch a Jake show if you haven't. It's a good time as always, and people come out and drink a bunch, and it's good times. But
Jimmy, I wish I'd fucking hammed it up more for you. I'm sorry. Man.
I know.
We got a whole other episode.
Yeah, we got a whole other
Sad.
episode. No, we'll be good. We'll be good.
We'll edit that out.
All right, I'll go next. Jordan Chad with the Speedwell Tower, and I especially just again we'll just keep the circle jerk going here. I want to thank Jake and Jimmy for being on today.
Of course.
Jake's become a really good friend over the last year or so, and you know the fast times of being a fried chicken restaurant is kind of tough getting into the farm to table shit. You know, you don't think farm to table when you think chicken. But Jake's kind of opened up the doors for me, you know, and I've been going to farmers markets more often and paying more attention, and also the music scene too. You know, the latest album Jake put out with the Deep Creek Band is fan-fucking-tastic. I recommend everybody going on Spotify and taking that, you know, taking a listen to that. So yeah, my shout out, my last call goes to Jake Hill and the Deep Creek.
Thank you, baby. Love you. Yeah.
Love you. Carl Heine.
Carl Heine from the New World Tavern, come on in. Mention Jake Hill by name. Get 1.5% off anything you buy at the bar. But I want to thank everybody for listening, and we all had a good time today. And I'm really looking forward to listening to this live.
It's gonna be a fucking trip. Hey, I didn't mention before, but this is the Bar Talk podcast. We have a support group of South Shore, Massachusetts, industry people and everybody nationwide that chooses to listen to us, hospitality-wise. And you can check us out at Bar Talk Cast on Twitter and Instagram. I'd like to thank, as always, Andy and Fish from Inebriart. What's up? Not on Instagram, on Facebook. Shit. Let me retract that.
So good.
But it's okay. Fuck, I was on a roll too. Yeah, you know what? You got in my head, Carl. So you can check us out at Bar Talkcast on Twitter and Facebook. As always, I'd like to thank Inebriart. They're coming up on their 100th episode. This might come out after it, but it's okay. Andy and Fish, thank you very much for producing the show as always. Again, thanks for joining us at Bar Talkcast on Twitter and Facebook. We'll see you next time.